Hi everybody, I'm Mike McCrory and this is Would You Make It? You might remember my client Ray. I made a chessboard for him a couple of years ago from Bolivian rosewood and bird's eye maple. He sent me a portrait of himself and asked if I could use a laser to burn it onto leather. I just got an Ortur LaserMaster 3, so that's what I'm going to use to engrave the portrait and to make a couple of other things at the end of the video. So let's get started. My new laser has come a long way from the first Ortur laser that I had from a few years ago. The portrait is going to be 10 inches by 10 inches, and I'm going to put a 3-inch mat around the outside. So I'm cutting this plywood to be 16 inches by 16 inches. And then I'll spray on some Gorilla adhesive so that the leather can stick to the plywood. Ortur provides a file with recommended settings for different types of material, and what they provide are just recommendations. I'm going to make a couple of adjustments. I'm going to crank up the contrast a little bit and bring down the brightness. I think that's going to work a little bit better. And for leather, they recommend 20,000 millimeters per minute. I'm going to slow it down a little bit to 18,000. That's just to make it a little bit darker. And everything else, I'm going to take what they recommend, and because it's going to be 10 inches, I'm going to set the size to be 260 millimeters, which is just a little bit more than 10 inches. Next, I'll turn on the laser and have it map out the perimeter of the image so that I can make sure everything is properly aligned. I'll bring down the focus arm, slide the laser down until the focus arm touches the material, and then I'll tuck it back away, and that focuses the laser. And then it's ready to go. And according to the software, this will take 2.5 to 3 hours to complete. While the laser's burning away, I'm going to work on the frame, and I have these leftover pieces that were going to be a frame for a chessboard for somebody else, but something went wrong with the project. I don't remember what. I probably cut it too short, and so I just set them aside for a future use. And these are very similar to the frame that I used for Ray's chessboard, so the portrait is going to match the chessboard, which is the idea. So I'm going to just clean these up and glue them together, and then they'll be ready. These leftover frame pieces were intended to have a tongue and groove fitting, but I don't need the tongue anymore, so I'm cutting that off. And then I'll use my dado set to cut a rabbet along the back side so that the portrait can fit within that recessed area. Next, I'll cut the mitered corners. And then I'll glue it up. The laser is done at this point, and the image turned out to be quite nice. For the finish, I'm going to apply a coat of de-waxed shellac to seal the wood fibers. And then I'll spray on a few coats of pre-catalyzed lacquer. Now I'll flip the frame over, insert the mat, and then insert the portrait. And then I'll use these glazier points to secure everything. They're a little difficult to push in because this is pretty hard wood. For my next project, I'm going to make some wooden signs for my daughter's yoga studio that she just opened a few weeks ago. She has a lot of merchandise for sale, and I'm making some wooden price tags that are going to fit into some shelves that I made for her. Next, what I'm going to do is to engrave some branding on these gua sha stones that they use in the massage part of their business. These are made from Bian stone, and I wasn't sure what settings to use, so I chose the settings that are recommended for stainless steel. So I slowed the speed down to 2,000 millimeters per minute and used all of the other recommended settings for stainless steel, and it turned out pretty well. So those are 3 different projects, 3 different materials that I was able to engrave with the laser. If you want to make things like this and you're interested in an Ortur LaserMaster 3, I've put a link in the description. So I gotta ask, would you make it?